Okay, welcome everybody. I'm so excited that you're here tonight. I'm Marilyn Kazmierski. I'm Senior Gold Ambassador, and Melanie, sorry, she is still under the weather, and she asked me to step in for her tonight, and I'm very excited to do that. And it's our honor tonight to have Kelley Norman with us. She is a Diamond Ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. She is also a certified John Maxwell coach. She is an author. She has a brand new book that she has out, and she's a speaker. And I want to read a little bit about her. She's a wife, a mom, like I said, a certified John Maxwell speaker, trainer, coach, and successful entrepreneur. Early in her life, she felt insecure and imprisoned within her own mind, tormented by destructive thoughts, patterns, and Kelley knew there had to be much more to life. Gosh, can we relate to that? In 1998, Kelley began her journey towards what she calls freedom. Her success in overcoming her own adversities and finding freedom and confidence in who she is was created to be stirred within her a desire to help others. Success in the business world offered her a platform to speak to people across the United States. That is amazing, Kelley. Thank you so much. And we really appreciate you being with us and sharing some of your inspiration.
Well, thank you for having me on. I am honored to be here and to see new faces, to be able to encourage and to love you guys and share a little bit of a piece of me with you. So before we get started, I'll just pray over our meeting. What do you say? So, Lord, I just thank you for this night. I thank you for this divine time in our lives that you have for us to come together. Father, I pray that what each and every person needs within the sound of my voice, that you would meet them there. It's so cool how you can just take the words that you give me and you can make it mean whatever they need. And so tonight, I just pray that you would do that. I pray, Father God, a blessing over everybody in the sound of my voice, over their families, over their businesses, over their health. Lord, as I am speaking tonight on a purpose, I ask you to reveal what you have put inside of each and every person that you have created here. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right, well, we ready to get started? Excellent. Well, I'm going to come to you tonight, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about my book and some workshops I'll do, but we're going to just save that for later. I just want to come and gift you with a little bit of some teaching that I have on purpose, vision, and goals. So before we jump into that, I'm going to throw something out here to you. Tell me what you think about this. We create what we want in our lives.
I know.
We create what we want in our lives. I think that resonates so well with me because of the word create. Because sometimes I get busy and I get to striving, hustling, obtaining, and I'm just crazy enough to believe that God created us. In Genesis, it says that he created us in his image. And if he is the creator and he created us in his image, that means that he created us to be creators. We create what we want in our lives. And I'm going to throw something else out here to you. I'm just getting your mind kind of thinking and spinning right now. Everything that you need is within you. Everything that you need is within you. So many times we think, oh, I'm not enough. I've got to obtain this. I've got to get that. And it just puts us back in that place of striving, puts us back in that place of hustling. It's just like a seed. And when that seed falls to the ground and a tree comes from that, everything is in that seed. That tree is already in the seed there. It just has to be nurtured and blossom, and it goes into this beautiful tree. Okay, so I believe the seed of greatness is within us. Everything that you need has already been given unto you. There's a scripture that says everything that you need for life and godliness has already been given unto you. So Let's stop striving. Let's stop thinking that we've got to be somebody else or obtain something else, and just think for a minute. Maybe I was created to create. Everything I need is within me. All right, I'm gonna bring all this home to you. Do you remember when you learned to ride a bicycle? I want you to think back of when you learned to ride that bicycle, because I have it ever so clearly in my memory. And the reason is I was no good at it. And I remember trying to ride this bike over and over. So I have memories of getting my bicycle and pushing it up this hill and getting on it. And then at least I was smart enough to get momentum, right? I would go and have momentum. And when I get to the end, the same thing happened every time. I fell. And then I would get back up. I would get my bicycle. I would push it up to the top, and I would get on, and I would go down. And the same thing happened at the bottom. Now, my mom really remembers this, and she says that she was astonished on how I just kept getting up, getting the bicycle and going up to the top of the hill. I would do it over and over. During this, I never remember saying things like, oh, I'm so stupid. I can't ride a bike. I don't remember that. Now, maybe I said something like this stupid bicycle and got on it and went back and tried again. All right, this will bring it home. There's 100 kids. 100 kindergartners. A man walks into the kindergartner class and he says, all right, who can dance? And 100 kindergartners stood up. He said, okay, sit down. And he said, who can sing? And then 100 kindergartners stood up. And then he walks around to a room full of 100 adults. And he says, who can dance? And about 15 adults stood up. And then he says, okay, sit down. Who can sing? And about the same number stood up. So tonight, I'm here to ask you, is that who told you that you couldn't dance? And who told you that you couldn't sing? Because I believe if we can figure out what happened between those kindergartner years when we were children to where we are now, if we can figure out what happened in the middle of all of that, we're going to be closer to creating again. We're going to be freer. We're going to be more confident. You know, animals and children create naturally so much better than we do. So let's think about that. You ever seen a bird make a nest? It just automatically makes that nest. Ever seen a spider weave a spider web? Have you ever given a child a box of crayons and all of a sudden they've become an artist? And before long, they've created a masterpiece that they are just hoping you put on the refrigerator. And they are so proud of it when you do. Because it's just in them to create. I've never seen a bird say, oh, that nest is so much bigger and nicer than mine. I'm just a loser bird. I guess I won't make any nests. No, because they don't have that ego inside of their head. They don't have that self-value thing going on. They just create. Maybe we were called to create. But something happened in between those years that we have to take a look at. Now, I'm going to tell you something, and I think this is worthy of being wrote down, is that if we can separate our self-value from our results, we're going to be closer to creating. It's so good, I got to say it again. If we can separate our self-value from our results, we will be closer to creating. We will be more confident. We will be freer. We will be happier. I love examples. So let's say today I sign up 5 level 1s, and all 5 of those level 1s go fast, start gold. Now, when I go to bed tonight, I'll walk down the hallway and there's a mirror before I get to my bedroom. And when I walk by and I look at myself in that mirror, I'm going to think, I'm pretty awesome, because I have just had a rock star day. I must be something now. Okay, let's rewind. Let's say I contact 20 people today. They all tell me no. 5 of my rock stars moved to another company and all of my customers quit. And when I walk down that hallway and I get a glimpse of myself in that mirror, I'm going to be so tempted to think I'm not enough, to think I'm in lack. We can't find our self-value from our results. Mother Teresa, who speaks to my soul, has a quote, and I'm going to paraphrase it for you here, but do not let praise nor criticism move you, but live humbly. If we can be humble, that is the goal. And when I read this, do not let praise nor criticism move you. It was like, that's it. That's what I want. That's who I want to be. Whether 1 million people tell me I'm amazing or 1 million people are standing in line telling me how sorry I am, it doesn't matter. I don't want to be moved. I want to walk past my mirror every night when I go to bed, and I want to look in that mirror and I want to say, man, Kelley, you are valuable. You have something the world needs. You are loved. You are chosen. That's what I want. And I think that's what we all want. If we can get to that place of separating our self-value and our results. You know, we can go even further than Plexus, couldn't we? Some of you have teenagers. Some of you have adult children. And the fact of the matter is, we've learned that our kids aren't always going to make right choices. And in the middle of some of those wrong choices that your kids will make, because all of our kids do it, we did it, is that your value as a parent is not based on your child's results, on your child's choices. We have got to separate that. All right, we're going to move on because we got more stuff to talk about. So let's jump into, we're going to talk about purpose. If I came to you and I said, what is your purpose? I know that your hands would start to get sweaty. Your heart would start to race because you're going to have to tell me, I don't know. And I just want to tell you that that's okay. You don't have to spit out your purpose to me right now. But what you do have to do is just tell me, Kelley, I'll be open-minded. I will be moving towards that. I will listen to what you have to say because I think I can help you, direct you in the area of your purpose. So John Maxwell has a book, and it's Great Leaders Ask Great Questions. And I think that you and I have to learn how to ask ourselves great questions. And I'm going to help you with that tonight. So you and I, we're going to go to dinner, okay? That's going to be really awesome. We're going to leave our phones are in the car. It's just you and I. We're at dinner, and our conversation is going to be what you choose to talk about. So that's the rules. I'm just wondering, what is it that you like to talk about that makes you excited? What is it that puts a fire in your belly when you start talking about this subject? Okay, what is it that you do that when you do this, it was like, I was made for this. This just fills me up. What is it that you do that fills you up? What is it that you talk about that puts a fire in your belly? What is it that if I were to call you and I was to say, hey, Brandy, I need you to, and then you fill in the blank. Hey, Rachel, I need you to. What would it be that you could do that you could say, Kelley, don't worry about it. I got this. What could you help me with? What would it be that it would be, oh, yeah, no big deal. I got it. And then you do that. So John Maxwell calls this your God-given gift. Your God-given gift is just a gift that you have to dust off a little bit, and then you just roll with it and you rock it. But a man-made gift is hard. I'm not talking about those man-made gifts, those things that you've had to acquire skills for. I'm talking about those things that you are natural at. What are they? What do people compliment you on? What are some of your gifts? What are some of your strengths? These are great questions to ask yourself. What people group does your heart lean towards? Maybe it's children, maybe it's the elderly, maybe it's women that have had abortions, maybe it's orphans, maybe it's businessmen, businesswomen, whatever that is. What does your heart move towards? These are great questions to get your brain turning. Now, when I started asking myself these questions several years back, I started coming up with things that made me, the fire burn within inside of me is what I'm doing right now. It's helping you find your purpose, was empowering other people, helping them to love themselves, helping them to get a healthy mindset. If I can sit down with you and help you get some clear vision on your future and maybe what you were called to do, then then I feel so complete. So I know that my purpose was that but this was time. It's not like you get a letter in the mail and says, oh, this is your purpose. you have to spend some time. I took so many personality tests. I spent so much time in prayer, so much time reflecting, so much time asking people, what am I good at? What do you see in me? And people, I mean, I'm sure people got sick and tired of it, but I was on a mission. And I say, you need to be on a mission to know yourself, to discover yourself, to know that purpose. Okay, so let's move on. Vision. Purpose, vision, and goals. Now, if I was going to take one thing and I would say this is where you need to spend your time, it would be on vision. But our society is so fast-paced that this is the thing we spend the least amount of time on. I really want to emphasize how important vision and visualizing are. And so I want to share with you what it looks like to me. I don't have my planner in here, I usually do, but I have a planner, it has my calendar in it. Every morning I come into this office and my husband goes to work, my kids go to school, I turn on some praise music, maybe I get into a devotion, maybe I'll get into the word, but there will be a time in the mornings before I start my day that I'm quiet. A man told me one time, Kelley, if you're going to dream, you might as well dream with God. Because if he's the one that created us and he's the one that put this purpose inside of us, then I might as well go to him. So in the morning, in that time, I am just visualizing, I'm getting quiet, I'm being open to what things look like. You see, vision puts the feet to your purpose. It actually walks it out. And so in my planner, you'll see I have places that I write, and journaling looks different for everybody. Maybe you're somebody that loves a lot of words, and your journal is, a spiral notebook, and you write. That is not my personality. My personality is going to be more of just like single words that are coming to me. The reason that you need to journal, you need to write down when you're visualizing, when you're looking towards your future, you're thinking about your purpose, what does it look like? The reason you need to write these things down is because when I get up from this desk, when I walk out into life happens. And I guarantee you that you got life just like I have life. And when life happens to me, I am not in the emotion of that beautiful place of visualizing anymore. And I have to have an anchor that brings me back. Okay, this is what I was called to do in the middle of life. So I encourage you to journal, to write things down. Now, visualizing is not a one-time thing. You need to make a habit of it, because this is why I think that is because life will not turn out the way you think it's going to. I guarantee you, many of you are sitting in a place right now and you thought things were going to look different than what they look like. We have to visualize a habit of it so that we can realign. Successful people realign. I have had to realign so many times in life, I can't count it, because life doesn't turn out like we thought. So I'll just give you an example. As I am visualizing, I shared with you my purpose was to help you find your purpose, was to mentor people, was to encourage people, to help them love themselves, to get a healthy mindset. When I was visualizing that, what I saw was I was seeing workshops, I was seeing a mentorship program, I was visualizing a book. And so can you see now that put feet to my purpose? I was seeing these things. That's when you discover your purpose, and I just want to go back and I want to remind you, there's no measuring stick to purposes. The biggest thing that will steal your purpose is with your carnal mind that is not capable of much. My carnal mind, which is not capable of much, wants to reason out, oh, well, that purpose is a really big purpose. And my purpose just is a little purpose. There's no such thing as big purposes and little purposes. They are all so valuable. So don't you dare let that come in and steal from you. So as you're visualizing what that looks like, you're writing it down. Here we go. Purpose, vision, goals. Now we're going to talk about goals for a minute. A lot of people find their purpose, and purposes are for a season, and many of us don't have just one purpose. There's maybe several purposes. So this all looks a little bit different for everybody. So many people find their purposes, they visualize what it looks like, and it dies with them. That when they're buried, when their life ends, they never fulfilled it because they didn't learn what I'm fixing to tell you, and that is how to set goals. How to set short-term goals and long-term goals. And this consists of a 4-letter word. Anybody want to guess what that 4-letter word is? Work. This is where there's a quote, and I can't think of who says it right now, but everybody wants to dream, but not many people want to read the small print in dreams. There's some small print in dreams, and guys, it's work. And that's what setting your goals is. So setting your short-term goals and long-term goals. The importance of short-term goals is because you're gonna meet short-term goals, and you're gonna have confidence. Many of you are discouraged because you're not setting short-term goals, that you have this big, huge goal, and that's great. There's another reason and purpose for that. But a few weeks go by, and your big goal, which was not meant to hit for years down the road, you're like, oh, you're so discouraged. But if you set short-term goals and you hit them every day, it's going to give you confidence, and you're going to want to show back up tomorrow. And the people that show back up tomorrow are the people that go up. People that show up go up. And so you have got to show back up. But the reality is we got to have confidence to show back up. And so you need to set some short-term goals. What's that look like? Maybe in your Plexus business, that is contacting 5 people a day, reaching contacting 5 people, following up with 3, reaching out to a customer or ambassador. Every single day, that's your short-term goal. And when you meet that, I don't care if everybody tells you no, when you lay your head on the pillow at night, it is victory because you accomplished your goals for that day. And you know what? Tomorrow, you're going to show up and you're going to have victory again to them. Again, you know, John talks about if you had a tree in your backyard and you had an axe and you had a very sharp axe and you walked outside and you took 5 swings at that tree and then you came back in the house. And then tomorrow you got up and you grabbed your axe and you walked outside and you took 5 swings at the tree and you came back in the house. And then the next day, you're with me over and over and over. If you take 5 swings every single day at that tree, what's going to happen? It's going to come down. And it's the same principle with reaching your dreams, reaching your goals, your purpose. Your Plexus business will grow, guys, when you show up and you are consistent like that. So goals are so very much important. And it's at this time that I feel like that I need to warn you. So there's a big warning that comes with this training. And that warning is that you have a voice and I have a voice. And I call this voice the voice of reason. And the voice of reason wants to steal your purpose. The voice of reason wants to steal those visions that you have, because it will look like this. Well, the voice of reason needs to know everything right now. And so many times when we're in the midst of this is that we don't have all the details. And it's saying, well, what does that look like? How is that going to happen? Well, who do you think you are to do that? You've already tried it before and you failed. How do I know? Because it's happened to me. And what that looks like for me is I'm in the middle of writing my book or even thinking about writing the book. And that voice is saying, well, what do you know about writing a book? You know nothing. I knew zilch. You know nothing about writing a book. What makes you think that that's for other people? Or who do you think is going to pay money to come listen to you speak? You live in a town of 700. You've tried those things before, whatever it was. You failed before. This is when it's so important that you have your affirmations. And so I certainly hope that you are saying affirmations. It is crucially and vitally important. And this is where I specialize in. I specialize helping you make affirmations that are for your life, where you are in the middle of your purpose, in your vision. It's great to say positive things over your life, and you should. But we're not talking about cookie cutter affirmations. We're talking about what you need. And so I don't know if you've got my book or not, but my book is Living to Leave a Legacy. And what I do is walk you through how to make affirmations for yourself, explain why you need them. You've got to rewire your brain. Romans 12:2, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. I'm going to teach you on how to renew your mind. Guys, we've got to stop being conformed. We got to stop conforming to what this world is and be who we were called to be. And it starts with renewing your mind. So it takes 21 days to break a habit. You got some stinking thinking. You got some junk up here. And so it takes 21 days to break that and 2 more cycles of 21 to reform that new habit. So it's a 63-day commitment. And I'm not telling you it's easy, but I'm telling you it's worth it. And if you are on this call tonight, if you have taken time out of your life, I would say you're pretty serious about doing something with your life. You're pretty serious about growing your business, hitting your goals, fulfilling your purpose. I'm talking to the type of people that says there's more. I want more than what I'm getting out of life. I was created for more. And so I encourage you guys, get my book, go through the affirmations. There are pages that you can write on the inside of there. And I just believe that it's going to help you make those affirmations. And when you do that, your dreams will not be stolen. Your purpose will not be distorted. That vision will not be corrupted. So that was a lot. I know that was a lot. You may want to watch this again and take some notes. But we talked about purpose. We all had to step into what we were called to do. It's our responsibility so that we can be a blessing to each other. We can be it's like a puzzle piece. And when you put those puzzle pieces together, that they make a beautiful picture, you got to bring your puzzle piece to the game. And it needs to be whole and healthy. So that's what I had tonight. And where do most of you live? Are you in the Houston area?
Yeah, Kelly, I think most, excuse me, sorry, a little emotional there. But yeah, I think most of the people on this call are Houston. Marilyn, anybody that you can think of on our team that's not local that's on the call tonight?
I think that most people are in the Houston area, and I'm really excited because I heard from a little bird that Kelly's coming to our area March 10th. Is that right?
Yeah, it is. I thought maybe you guys might be. I'm going to be in Fresno March 3rd, in Houston March 10th, and I just want to share with you really quick about the workshop if we have a few minutes.
Where in Houston, so we can, or is there going to be an event page set up?
It's going there is going to be an event page. It's going to be this week. It's at a church where Sonia Dudley spoke before. So if anybody knows where that is, I'm not familiar where that is.
In the Woodlands?
Yeah. I think it is in the Woodlands.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. We know exactly where that is. Okay.
Okay. What that workshop's going to look like is we're going to start the day off at 9:00, and I'm going to talk about identity. I'm going to talk about mindset, and I'm going to talk about affirmations. It is during this time that I share my personal testimony of my life, and the only time that people are able to hear about my life in the true, authentic form, I share it all, is at my workshop. So it's worth coming just to get to hear that. And after we talk about identity, mindset, and affirmations, we're going to move into talking about offense. I believe that so many of us are not reaching our goals. We're not fulfilling our dreams because we've been so offended, and we're walking around with offense. What I see offense is like this ball and chain that's around your ankles, and it's keeping you from soaring and flying. And I'm going to teach you how to let go of offense, and I am actually going to teach you how to never be offended again. And some of you are like, what? Yes. I'm going to share with you on how to never be offended. And so how would you like to have a team full of ambassadors that were never offended? Yeah, our lives have changed. And so,
Montana and Tennessee on too. So if you're going to be in that area, they would probably love to.
Oh, okay.
Tennessee and Montana. Right. Yeah. They were sending chats. So
wonderful. Yeah.
But I would like to never be offended again personally. So.
Yes. Well, I'm going to teach you how. And then we're going to go in and we're going to talk about boundaries and why you need boundaries. That's really important that you know why. And we're going to talk about boundaries with people, boundaries with food, boundaries with money. Many of you are feeling stuck and not being able to reach your dreams or your goals because you don't have any boundaries set up. And it's just these little things that can change everything. We'll break for lunch. I'm going to stay there. I'll do, anybody wants me to sign their book, I'm going to sign their book at lunchtime. I think there'll be box lunches there for you guys. And then in the afternoon, I teach John Maxwell's book, Putting Your Dream to the Test. This is a marvelous, brilliant book of John's that talks about ownership. Do you own your dream? Has somebody else put their dream on you? How to bring clarity to your dream, how to get a strategy to walk it out, how to push through the dip. John calls it the distance in between your plan or your purpose is a dip. It's an acronym, DIP. And so many times people get right here when it's low and it's hard and they're like, oh, this wasn't for me because it's hard. It's hard for all of us. And I'm going to teach you how to have passion and tenacity through the dip to get to the other side and to finish that. We're going to talk about significance. We're going to talk about legacy. Guys, the word legacy was given to me in 2017 and in the end of 2016. God gave me that word, and he said that that I was to carry it. And so I felt like I've given birth to this word. I feel like that this word is so much part of me because I had a grandmother. My grandmother was about 5 foot tall. Her name was Rose, and she left me a legacy of kindness, a legacy of grace, a legacy of unconditional love, a legacy of strength and courage and faith. And those are the things that change the world. And I am on a mission to teach people, when you get your mindset where it needs to be, when you know who you are, you know your identity, when you let go of the fence, when you set boundaries, when you fulfill your purpose and walk it out, then you're going to leave a legacy. And so that's what the workshop is all about. Truly, I do believe that this is what I was created to do. And I believe if you attend this workshop, you're going to say, that was the day. That was the day that everything changed. I believe you're going to get so many aha moments in that day. So Houston, March the 10th, my book, Living to Leave a Legacy. I have a website. It's called Kelley J. Norman. I just started up a mentorship program. It lasts for 6 months. I do 2 calls a month on that. So the information is on there. You guys can check it out. And I would love if you have any questions.
Kelley, how late is the training on the 10th? Is it 9 to 5, 9 to what? 9 to 3.
Yep.
Okay. And that's through your website that we can register for that?
Eventbrite is there, yes.
Thank you so much for tonight.
You're welcome.
Does anybody have any questions? You can unmute yourself, and if you have any questions. I had a question about I want to be you when I grow up, first of all. Because I feel like we have kind of a kindred heart. God gave me a heart to care, and I think I care a little bit too much or want it more for people than sometimes they want for themselves. So I'm learning, growing. But I was just wondering about with the team, as we try to grow and build that passion, and as you have, and have that kindness and reflect that purpose and vision, is there any tips that you've had along the way getting to Diamond that could help us with attrition? Like people starting out that maybe we could do a little bit better to keep that attrition? Or do we just need to accept that?
Well, attrition is part of our business. So they say that about a third is about the numbers that you will have in attrition. Oh, that's just kind of the network marketing number. But a couple of things that comes to mind is, number one is culture and family, is that when people join your team, that they join your family. They join a place that believes in them, that supports them, and that wants to help them in this journey. So making people feel a part, and truly that's, our call in life too. It's not anything that's fake. It's an opportunity that we can link together and love people. And when people feel a part of something, they don't feel like they want to leave. We have faith in these products and in this business, so we can do that confidently. And then the other thing I would say is keep recruiting. So many people get stuck into, oh, I got my team now I need to be a leader. Well, yeah, we got to be leaders, but the best thing a leader can do is show it. And so you have got to be recruiting level 1 ambassadors until you're double diamond. And the other thing I would leave you a tip with is that I believe the heartbeat of our business is follow-up. The people that learned how to follow up are the people that probably went up. And so many times we reach out to people and it takes 6 to 8 exposures before they sign up or before they buy your products. And most of us quit after one. But those that can have that strong tenacity and that drive and that continuing learning how to reach out, learning how to follow up. Hopefully your team's having events like opportunity meetings, 7-day challenges, things like that. And so that lets people go and to a potential says, you know what, we've got a 7-day trial going on. Would you join that and test the products? You know, so that's a couple of things that I would say.
Appreciate that.
And really the simplicity of it. It's just going silver and then doing silver again and then doing silver again and teaching people how to go silver and then going silver again. It's really, really simple. I think we overcomplicate it.
Power 3.
I agree. Does anybody have any questions? Ooh, take advantage of this wisdom.
I have one question.
Okay.
Your conference that you're going to have in March, I really like the topics that you said they were going to address, but I was wondering if you addressed anything specifically as far as like codependency and learning to be, learning more to take care of yourself and to focus on yourself, because I tend to be worried about everybody else and then I neglect myself. And so that's something, and I neglect myself in every way, emotionally, physically, all that kind of stuff. I always put everybody ahead of myself, but then, there's a limit to that. And then you hit the end of yourself. And then that's kind of where I'm at right now, to where it's like, okay, I need to build myself back up. So I've been doing a lot of reading and, self-discovery. I've read Boundaries. I'm reading, I can't remember the name of the book, but it's a PhD on the dangers of shame and how we not just shame everyone else, but we shame ourselves. And it just kind of feeds into this negative cycle. So I was wondering if your conference addressed anything like that.
I would say definitely that the day is going to empower you to know who you are. I think the foundation of all of this is really identity. And that's the first hour of the day. And that when we know who we are, we know whose we are, there's something that happens. Because when I discover who I am, I see the value. I see the value in who I am and how God has gifted me. And when I can say that I look at myself and see value, it's not haughty. It's just that I'm a piece of the Lord that He has placed upon this earth to do for Him. And I don't have fear, but my biggest concern, if you would say it was fear, would be at the end of my life not doing everything that He called me to do.
Yeah.
And so I think that's a passion that can get inside of you that will push you through. And I think, there are some things we need to learn, like boundaries and things like that. And we need to go back and probably be healed of the past of a lot of things.
Yeah, for sure. And then a lot of what I'm really learning, like I always thought that I had a really great self-esteem, like I'm a really warm, bubbly person, but at the root of, worrying about everybody else and not taking care of yourself is that you don't really value yourself. And so when you're constantly seeking everybody else's approval, it's because you don't have self-approval. Like your approval comes from everybody else instead of yourself. And
have you listened to that? Have you ever read that children's book, You're Special?
No.
Okay. So it's about these little wooden people. They're called Wemmicks. And here they are out there, and in their little town, everybody has stickers. They have stars and they have dots. And when other people do good things, they put a star on them. And when people do bad things, they put a dot on them. Well, the main character in the book is this young man that just trips all the time, and he just can't do anything right, and he has dots all over him, and he just doesn't want to go outside because he gets dots. And so one day he met this girl that had no stickers. He'd never seen a person in his life that had no stickers. And he went up to her and he says, how do you have no stickers? And so she led him to the carpenter that made all the wooden people. She says, I go to our maker every day and listen to what he says about me and talk to him, and then the dots don't speak anymore. And so she led him to the maker, and when the maker saw him, he's like, oh, Eli, I've been waiting for you to come see me. And so he picks him up and he sets him up there, and then he speaks the truth into him. And then the book is so awesome. When he walks out to go back to his home, one of the dots fall off. I have found that the most of my issues in life is not hearing what God has to say about me.
Yeah.
And when I get to that place to hear what God says about me and who I am, and revealing that he is personal to me. He's not just this mystic God up there that's like ruler of just the earth, but he wants to have a relationship with me, and that he loves me unconditionally, and there's nothing that I've ever done that pushed that love away, and that when he looks at me, he smiles and he sees value. That when I got to that place, the dots quit sticking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's the name of that book?
I used to have Kelley Norman's YouTube video. Sorry, Kelley, you're kind of like my idol. It's okay, whatever. But she does a YouTube about this book, and she reads the book, and she tells the whole story. And I'm looking really fast right now on YouTube so I can post it for y'all because it's amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, it's my favorite book. It's very, very powerful. So I actually, this was years ago, I videoed myself reading the book.
What was the name again?
You Are Special.
You Are Special. Okay.
I don't think that's the name of your YouTube video, though.
No, it's kind of hard to find.
I will find it. Don't worry.
Thank you, Kelley.
Does anybody else have any other questions? Well, we sincerely, if nobody has anything else to say, we sincerely appreciate your time. This has been so amazing and so powerful, and just you fed us well. Gave us our vision, our clear vision of our purpose and our goals and how to achieve that. And I love that you said to take the short goals. You know, we have big, hairy, audacious goals, but how we can feel more accomplished if we just wake up every day and try to accomplish those smaller goals.
Mm-hmm.
And that was taking those little bites is just a great reminder. So we sincerely appreciate it. I know Melanie wishes that she'd be here, and we're real excited for that you're coming to our area. The people in Tennessee, North Dakota, and I think there's some other places there, Minnesota.
And so what I'll tell people is just, if you want me to come to your area, reach out to your jewels in your area and just say, hey, how can we get Kelley here? Okay. I have a goal of, one of my big, hairy, audacious goals is to hit every state. Good. I just feel like it's my call to affect the way the world, their belief system. And the things that I just told you right there, all wrapped up in to change the way people are thinking about themselves, the self-sabotage, helping people find their purpose. So anyway, but if you live in a place that I only have 2 workshops right now, and so for 2018, and I am looking to add some more. Talk to your jewels about that.
Well, thank you so much. And everybody have a wonderful evening, and take this wisdom with you, and have a blessed evening. Thank
you for letting me on to your team. Bye, guys. Good night.
Appreciate it. Good night.
Thanks, Kelley.
You're welcome.